Magneto is one of those characters who just captured my imagination as a kid. I didn't read X-Men comics, and only occasionally watched the cartoon, but I always knew who he was, and always thought he looked so cool. So when I saw that Diamond Select Toys was coming out with a resin statue, I was determined to make it mine. Thankfully, Diamond was kind enough to send one out for review, and I've spent the last week taking pictures and gathering my thoughts. So here goes. The box is outstanding. Diamond's budget gallery line of PVC statues tends to have decent boxes as well, but I'm not a fan of their windowed boxes when the figure inside is surrounded in plastic packaging. You just can't see what's inside very clearly, so I don't really get the point. But this box has no window, instead using that space for huge photos of what's inside. Great logos, some biographical information on the back. This box sells what's inside, and that is as it should be. So does what's inside live up to the pitch? Yes. Yes, it does. Now, first, a caveat. If you're into a brand like Sideshow, then I think this is probably not for you. It's a different thing aimed at a different audience. Diamond stuff, from the galleries to the premiere, and even up to the Milestone collection, it's all beautifully sculpted and, for the most part, beautifully painted. But pretty much without exception, I've always been able to find paint defects if I'm looking for them. But also, almost without exception, it's never mattered much to me. In most cases, you have to be really close to spot the errors, and in others, you still have to be somewhat close. I'm usually gazing at my collection from at least 4 or 6 feet away, and from that distance, it all looks flawless. But if you're the sort of person who will inspect everything up close, and who will be disappointed at the slightest defect, I'm not judging you for that, but know what you're getting, and don't come into this transaction expecting it to be something it isn't. Okay, with that out of the way, I absolutely love this thing. I get so many plastic gallery statues passing through, and they look amazing, and I marvel at what can be achieved for $45 retail. But then every once in a while, Diamond sends me a resin bust or statue, and my jaw drops a little further. Maybe it's the way the resin takes the paint. Things that are supposed to be metallic or just plain shiny look more authentic than the same thing applied to plastic. Maybe it's the weight when I take it out of the box. Maybe it's just the poses and simpler bases they go with for these more premium products. Whatever it is, there's a notable uptick in quality, and frankly, the bar was already high. The body sculpt is just great, with a commanding pose, great muscles, cape, helmeted and alternate head. This is the Magneto I see when I think of the character. The base is also a fantastic sculpt, and perhaps the place where the differences between PVC and resin are most apparent. The stone actually looks like stone, and the energy field looks like something much more attractive than similar things I've seen expressed in plastic. Earlier disclaimer aside, the paint job is pretty dang sweet too. There's nuance in the purples and reds to give a more fabric-like dimension. The application is clean in almost every spot, and it looks most impressive in the lattice pattern on his gloves and boots, where the red of his bodysuit cuts through the purple. Well, that about covers it. I could go on, but mostly it would just be blubbering at how much I love this thing. Here's the deal. If you're a fan of the X-Men, or just Magneto's awesome aesthetic, I can't recommend this highly enough. It's an impressive piece to add to any collection, and I couldn't be happier with mine. You can find yours in comic shops or online outlets now.